Thanks for sticking around Upper Michigan today. We're switching gears and guests once again. We're joined now by Cassandra Sturos of Goldie's in Ishpeming. So thanks a lot for joining the program this morning and for being here. And I love the outfit that you've got on. You're not wearing the coat anymore, but you have like this lovely spring dress, but then you were wearing this big fur coat. And I said, stop right there. That's the perfect outfit for like the first day of spring in the UP because it's still also kind of winter out there.
I know. I wanted a more spring coat, but I call it my Cruella coat because I bought it. I was going to be Cruella de Vil for Halloween, and then I just wore it all winter because it's so fabulous.
I was Cruella for Halloween one year, but that's besides the point. So we're talking about Goldie's. We're talking about your shop. You know, what does it have to offer for somebody that's never been in?
Well, so I actually picked this dress out from my shop. My mom, I own the shop with my sister, and my sisters, I'm the oldest of 10, and my mom have stuff in the shop. So we have tons of vintage home decor, art, furniture pieces, clothing, but home decor is like my great love. I feel like decorating your home and space to feel like a sanctuary is just, you know, like Greta was talking about with clothes, like how you feel, comfort level, that's important. But like coming home and having your space feel like a reflection of who you are, a place you want to be. Like, I want to be in my house as much as I want to be in a hotel, you know?
I mean, I agree with that sentiment so much that the aesthetics of your home matter so much, not just for going in and like liking the space, but it really can have an impact on your mental health. If you're walking into a space, living in a space that just it doesn't make you feel good, that's going to have an impact on you.
Yeah.
So, you know, in filling your shop with these pieces, where do they come from? Where do you source them?
So all over. I do estate sales. I run them, but I also attend them. Being in the vintage and antiques world, a lot of times I'll just get calls from people saying, I'm clearing out my mom's stuff, my grandma's attic, the basement. And they're people who don't even do estate sales. They just want to like direct sell to me, and I will go oftentimes with a trailer and load up. And a lot of times it's personal connections, meeting someone and talking about what I do. I was recently in Wisconsin, and the woman just was paying attention to what I was buying and told me she had like a whole back room cold storage of bins from clearing out a hoarder house.
Wow.
And it was freezing, and she's like, if you don't mind the cold and you want to dig through my bins, and I did for hours, just dug through things. So, you know, garage sales, estate sales, people's cold storage.
And do you find here too with like the rich Scandinavian history, there's so much good mid-century Scandinavian design that I found up here, so that has to be a nice little treasure for you. Do you see a lot of that at your shop?
I do. It's not my... I like it, and I find a lot, but I am so into like, I do like the Scandinavian aspect, but I'm like such a lover of cottagecore.
Oh, yes.
So I love those old pieces that feel a little primitive but colorful, and I will mix all the themes together. Like I have some mid-century stuff in my house, but cottagey, but 70s. Like I'm not a gal who likes to stick to one thing. Like I mix mash it all together.
Perfect.
A maximalist through and through.
I love that. Maximalism. I'm a bit of a maximalist myself. So, you know, when we're talking about getting into the spring season and updating your home, giving a little refresh to your look, do you have any tips or advice for people that just want a change?
Yeah, some things so I redo my entire house for every season. I know most people are like, that's too much, but I think simple things you can do if you don't want to change out. For instance, I change out every single piece of art, from winter art to spring art. But I think for starters, art is huge. Even if you're not gonna put 1,000 nail holes in your wall like I do, simple, you know, floral or pastoral pieces and just putting them out. I am such a big believer in color palettes. Like I will just do a whole color blocking theme of finding all the pink books in my house or pink planters, and I'll just do this whole pink area because it feels more like a nod to spring versus like fall or winter when I'm picking the browns or the reds or darker colors. You know, I just find a color that coordinates with the season, and I make color blocks. So you don't have to go out and buy all new stuff, full retail price. You can find things in your house like green books and just put all the green spines in a line, and find a planter or a big jar and go pick stems, especially when they start blooming. Just cut some off, put them in water, and the stems will start blooming in the vase in your house. So I think adding florals, color blocking, you know, art, those are just 3 things I do every time, no matter the season. I'll pick a color that coordinates with that season, and I just add those accents in. It doesn't have to be, you know, going and buying all new bunnies and pink pillows, you know?
Right, yeah. What about textures? I know that's a big thing that I've seen at some of your places before, just the mixing of textures and materials. It's
I love that too. I am not a rules gal. I will have like a funky, brightly colored green and pink rug, and then I'll get different throw pillows. But again, maximalism. My basement is like a full-blown store, so I'll go grab different pillows that match and brass. Like I'll put brass next to, you know, collections of things with the different colors, textures. Yeah, you got the brass, the fun rug, the throw pillow. You mix it all in, but I just, again, no rules. Do what feels right to you and what you love.
For some reason, I want to say there are no rules in this house. I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
Right? Definitely.
Yeah, another thing I was going to say too is like, you know, because again, collections, but everybody has like, for instance, like your mixing bowls or things like that. If you have, again, a vintage lover, but if you have like a bunch of white bowls or something, stacking them up and then just putting, you know, a faux plant, some greenery in there. It doesn't, again, have to be something you go and buy. You can just kind of corral some cool pieces you have, showcase them, and put a spring accent in them to show them off.
Right, it's not always about going to the big box store to buy what's new on the shelf. Sometimes it's going through your basement, pulling out things from the archives and just creating a new little space. Sometimes it might involve buying something, but that's where resale shops, antique shops, secondhand stores really come in handy because, I mean, we were talking about some of those statistics earlier about just how many things go into landfills, and I bet with you going to all these estate sales, looking through people's basements at their old stuff, you probably have firsthand knowledge of just how much stuff people keep and how much stuff can become garbage.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at the time, we've got to take another commercial break, but we're going to pick up this conversation when we come back.